Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. In this episode, I'm taking a look at Thieves by Nigel Roper, published by Merlin Games, which is an abstract strategy game with a high luck factor with dice. So let's open up the box, see what's inside. I'll set up a game, I'll explain the rules, and then I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, so Thieves. According to the box, this is the most exciting game of strategy and chance. Well, let's see about that, shall we? And I met Nigel of Merlin Games at Spiel 2018. Here you can see the back of the box. Nice golden finish. And he showed me this game and it looked really impressive. And the box is already, so nice and so blingy, and really it has spot UV, it has gold, and it shows you basically the entire game. It has some gameplay in here, some background. So that's pretty cool. And then we had a chat, and then he gave me this copy to review it, and I played it several times. So I'll tell you what I think about it later. So first, inside the box is this nice this board, and it has felt on it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the bottom is nice and soft. Very luxurious game board. And there is even a deluxe version of this game, but I already feel that the basic version is already very, very nice. As you can see here in the light, that there is raised spot UV all along the edges and all these symbols. And the colors are nice, and they have a little edge as well, and spot UV. So it's a very nice looking board, I think, for a abstract strategy game. I got this little pamphlet as well. I don't know if that's in the base game normally. I got that at Spiel. Here are the rules. So it's just a leaflet with the rules, and a lot of things are illustrated as well, making it really clear. And the rules are relatively simple. There's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when playing. There are some other things that are available. Here is the deluxe version. It's a framed solid board and some nicer dice cups, and there's pins as well, and even a key wallet. So yeah, all right, this is the German version of the rules. This was included as well. Then in the box you will find a nice dice cup, which already looks very cool, with the dragon symbol on one side and this symbol on the other. And inside are the two dice that you're going to need while playing. And they are six-sided, and they have 6 different colors on them. One side is white, and one side has this symbol as well. And they're both the same. And then there's this nice little felt baggie with Thieves stitched on it. And it has a nice inside as well. It's a really cool, luxurious little box, little bag, and it has in it all the player pieces. So you've got 4 of these light brown, the white player, and 4 of these dark brown, the black player, like checkers, so to speak. So there's 4 of each, and the coin, the golden coin, that also has the dragon on one side and this on the other side. And that's the gold that the thieves are going to have to try and steal from the vault underneath whatever, the castle or something of the king. So let's set up a game and explain the rules. So the setup is very, very simple. Both players take one of the colors of pieces and place them in one of the corners of the board. That's your starting spot. And during the game, you're gonna move your pieces over the white passageways. The black spots are basically columns, walls, and the colored spaces are the doors. So you're gonna move through the doors onto the next available space. And eventually you're gonna move to the middle. So you have to move to one of the 4 squares surrounding the coin in the middle. Then you're gonna take the gold, which I will explain in a bit. And then with the gold on that thief, if you've taken it, you're going to try and move towards the exit, which is the opposite of the board. Not that opposite, but this opposite. So that player is going to try and go over there, and this player is going to try and get over here. So that's basically what's going to happen. So how does that work? Well, you've seen the dice. So you can roll 2 dice, and you have several options that you can do then. So one of the colors is basically a key to the door. So the purple key opens the purple door, the red key opens the red door, and so on. So there's yellow and green as well. Then there is white, which is a skeleton key basically. It opens any door. And black is a special key that is required to, 1, open the vault. So if you're in one of these 4 spaces and you roll the black face, then you can take the gold and put it on your thief. So that's how you take the gold from the vault. And secondly, once you've brought your thief over here, and you always need at least 1 accomplice in one of these spots surrounding the exit. And if you roll a black key, then you can escape and you will have won the game. So that sounds very simple. And the strategy comes, of course, from the fact that whatever you roll isn't always going to help you. And there is a rule that you must move both results if you can. So if moving, for example, I don't know, if one movement would make the second movement impossible, then I have to find a different way to do so if I can. So in this case, I could open any one lock and a green one. So I could say, you know, I'll do this one with the white and this one with the green, for example. Now you cannot move one thief twice. So with this result, I couldn't, for example, do the yellow door with the white key and then the green one with this. That's not allowed. You always have to move 1 spot per thief. So that means your die results will, you know, apply to 2 thieves if that is possible. So at some point, you know, stuff will happen, and sometimes you can't use your dice results. Sometimes you roll 2 black faces and then you can't move at all. So that's kind of a bummer. So that's the luck part in here. So sometimes you just won't be able to do anything. And the strategy comes, of course, from choosing the correct, the most optimal way to move your pieces. And a good strategy is to have one piece somewhere in the middle or somewhere where it can move freely in all directions. So if you are, say, somewhere over here on the board, I don't know, and this one has the gold, and I don't know, let's say we rolled something and I want to go, you know, down. I want to move towards my exit, and I rolled a red die result and something else. Then in this situation, I could move this one up, but that would be moving towards the enemy who might be waiting for me somewhere over here. So I don't want to get closer. I want to go this way. So I could use this red unwanted result. I'm definitely not going to do that. And this might be okay, but I'm going to use the red to move this one. And then I can use the green one. So that's also tough because this one I can move. I cannot have 2 thieves in the same hallway. It's too narrow for that. And so this one can't go there either. And I also cannot move into a space that's occupied. We've already discussed that. So in this case, I could do this, but that would leave me next to an enemy. And I don't want that because the enemy can steal the gold. So for example, just say I'm over here and the enemy rolls a purple die. Then the enemy can open this door and steal the gold from me. And then with the other die result, they could move away from me. That also goes in the other direction. If it rolled this result, I could use this one first, and then open the door and steal the gold. So you can move and steal and move, but you can also pass the gold along. So if I had this one over here and I rolled the blue result, I could pass the gold to my fellow thief and even do it twice. So that would also be an option. And the same way you can pass and move, move and pass, or pass twice. So that also works. So, you know, every time you roll an unwanted result and you don't want to get closer to the enemy, you want to get away, but you can't do that. Well, in this case, I had a white, so I could. But if I roll something that I did not need, then it is always a good idea to have one piece somewhere, you know, near, but, you know, able to move in any direction. And so that's how movement works and stealing works. So in the end, you have to get your thief over here, and you have to have at least one, maybe two of those thieves next to you, and then roll a black side, and then you escape. You cannot block the entire exit with all of your thieves, because then there would be no way for the enemy to steal the gold from you while you're trying to open that door. You can also only place one of your pieces in the surrounding hallways of the enemy's exit. And you are also not allowed to block the enemy's exit, because they do have to have a chance to get out. You can also not pass the gold to an enemy, which is pointless, of course. So you're not going to do that anyway, but you can't. It's in the rules. And so once you're over here, you could also win like this. If I rolled a red result and a black result, then I could pass it first and then escape. So yeah, that's in a nutshell all the rules. There's really not more to know than that. And it's really a game of, you know, moving around, grabbing the gold, passing along the gold, stealing the gold, moving back again. It's a back and forth a bit, and it really relies on your luck with the dice. So I would say the luck factor is pretty high here, but you can negate it a little, like I said, by having a piece somewhere that can use the unwanted die results. There are a couple of suggested strategies in the booklet here in the rules, so you can read those and you can see, you know, what tips Nigel gives you for winning. And there's a little bit of Norse myth that inspired it here in the back, so you can read that as well. So yeah, those are the rules to Thieves. Let's go to my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts on Thieves by Merlin Games. Well, first of all, let's talk about the components. The components are stellar. I mean, the quality of the piece, well, the pieces are wood, but they're nice, they're soft and nicely finished. But the rest of the game as well, I mean, the board with the felt underside, nice little felt bag with the soft inside as well. The cool looking classic backgammon kind of dice rolling cup is nice. The dice themselves are okay. They're decent enough. I think the colors are printed on, but they're very readable, very clear. They match the colors of the board, and the board is very colorful. I love the spot UV. And so yeah, the gold piece is really nice. It's really this cool looking metal coin. That's really cool. So components in this game are stellar. This is really a game that looks really nice on the table and even on your shelf, because, you know, the box is so nice with the spot UV and the gold. So production value of this game is top notch. Absolutely great. But what about gameplay? Is this, in fact, the most exciting game of strategy and chance? Well, in my opinion, that's exaggerated. I mean, there's probably a lot more exciting games of strategy and of chance out there. But, you know, Nigel compares this to backgammon in a way that you also roll dice, and then that decides which pieces you want to move. Only that backgammon is one-dimensional, it has one direction, and this is two-dimensional, so you can move around a lot more. So yeah, that does add to the fun, but you know, the dice are a really big factor here. So in terms of, you know, the relation between strategy and chance, I would personally say that the balance here is a bit off. There is more luck than strategy. And I would have liked if that was a little bit more balanced, if there was a little bit less luck involved, but it does set the rules for the game, and that's what you get, and that's how you have to play it. So in a sense, you know, it's equal for both players, of course, so it's fair. And well, you have to make do with what you roll, so that kind of challenges you to think ahead maybe, or to, you know, pose your pieces in such a way that you can probably always use your die results, unless you roll two black faces, of course, and yeah, you can't move at all unless you just happen to want to steal the gold. I really like the fact that you can also steal the gold from the opponent, that you can pass it along to somebody else from your team. That's a lot of fun. There's a lot of back and forth. All in all, this is just a really quick and fun little abstract game. I enjoy playing it. The first couple of times I thought, well, you know, it's really a lot of luck, but once you play it more often, you start to find out these little tricks that you can do. Like there's also, you know, some of these things are described in here, and that does make it a little bit more fun. Although I had people that I played with that said, well, you know, it's too much luck is involved here. They enjoyed it, but they wouldn't, you know, really want to play it a second time. There were other people who did enjoy it, but, you know, for what it is, in my opinion, a relatively light dice rolling fun game, and that looks really colorful, and, you know, it's a light strategy game, and I enjoy it for what it is. I really do. I'm keeping this in my collection, but yeah, it's not the most strategic game, of course. Is it exciting? Sure, it's exciting. It's fun to move around across the board, to try to reach the gold, you know, as the first thief to get it, and then you're there, and then the other one catches up because you keep not rolling the black die, and then they catch up with you, and then maybe they go away with it first, and then somebody eventually rolls the black die, and then you get the gold, and then you try to escape and, you know, get to your exit with at least one accomplice, and the other ones will be on your heels trying to steal it back from you, and then they go their way again, and then you have to chase them, and maybe you were smart and kept a couple of thieves, or one at least, patrolling the enemy's exit so you can intercept them. So that's also a little strategy you can use, and that's stuff you're gonna find out playing this. The first time you're probably gonna miss some of the strategies, and later you're gonna learn to play a bit smarter. So it is fun. It is fun for what it is. So, well, that's my opinion on Thieves by Merlin Games. And so that was Thieves by Merlin Games. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.